Hey you, come on, sit down. You're sitting at the grown-ups table. I'm your host, Jesse Pimpinella. And as always, my partner in crime, hell, my Valentine.
John Jacobs. And
Thank you
I
very
might
much.
want to add real quick,
What?
it is a privilege and an honor, sir, to be your Valentine this year.
Thank you. Because you know what? This is what the show's about. You
It is.
know,
And you know,
it's about
forget about our wives, right? Forget about the two women we're married to. We are each other's Valentine this year.
I totally blew the Valentine's budget on you, buddy.
Oh, thanks, man. I guess my flowers are in the mail, right?
Yeah. Actually, I'll show you real quickly before we start with the show. This is what my wife got me already.
Nice.
The Batman issue, number 50, where it's wedding stuff with Catwoman. So I'm very excited to read that. But that brings us right into our show today. Today, we're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about romantic comedy.
Oh, my heart. It hurts because I love people and comedy so much.
Boy meets girl, girl meets boy. They go through tragedies, but then they fall in love. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And I mean, what is a romantic comedy? Essentially, it's a plot-driven story where two characters, a protagonist, if I may say, are destined to fall in love, and they go through a bunch of comical, missorted adventures, and eventually they fall in love. And now, when thinking about a guest to have on this show, I needed somebody who can bounce romantic material like I can. Like, I love talking about love and romance on stage. So we needed somebody who could do just about the same thing. And here she is, the one and only comedian Amanda Ramirez, everybody.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you, John and Jesse, for having me.
Welcome.
Here's how more professional she is. She actually has a light ring, and I just have ringworm. The jokes are coming. The jokes are coming tonight.
But Jesse, is it really a joke? Because I would totally believe you have ringworm in one of your elbow joints.
Ringworm is best shared when two people are touching each other, Jesse. This is a perfect gift for Valentine's Day.
Who would have thought this became a PSA?
Don't get ringworm, kids. But if you do, then make a cream for it, and it gets rid of it in 2 weeks.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for stopping by. It was a pleasure to have you on last time for our stand-up comedy show, which, side plug, next week we got another show of stand-up comedy. Stay tuned for more details. But anyways, I'm very excited to have you on today. I know you and Jesse, are you guys preparing anything for Valentine's Day? Anything special?
No.
Nothing.
But I mean, there's things on the list. Last year, trying to navigate the impending pandemic, it was kind of like one of those things where we were just like, yeah, maybe we'll stay inside, and then we stayed inside and I regretted it. So like this time now, when we have to stay inside, we're better prepared. So yes and no, we have things planned. I mean, it's kind of just a whole part of just, I'm gonna get a bikini wax. That's my plan, guys.
Hey, there you go.
That's it. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Amanda, that's the gift that keeps on giving. So there you
go.
go.
For at least 4 weeks, John.
Yeah, well, you get this stubble and it's time to go get a touch-up. But,
Right. You and I look very similar in very different places of our body right now.
Well, maybe I'll cut this off and donate it to you if you need it. So there you go.
There you go. This is the weirdest promotional for Locks of Love right now. This is really weird.
It really is. So
Locks of Making Love.
So, Amanda, great job on not really having any plans for Valentine's Day this year. That's awesome. Jesse, anything for you and your newlywed wife?
Well, basically, we're just going to have dinner. We are currently spoiling the hell out of each other. And actually, I'm just going to test this out. I know she's not watching me. Because I'm going to tell you this real quickly. I love my wife. She is there for me no matter what. She's my ride or die. But she is not a Jesse Pimpinella fan. Let's call it that.
Hey, my wife's honestly the same. I don't think my wife likes my comedy, and I don't think my wife ever watched the show either. She supports the hell out of me, and it's fantastic, and I love her for that, for many other reasons. But I'm kind of in the same boat with you. She's just, she stays out of that comedy stuff and just lets me kind of do my thing,
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. She supports me. She finds it funny,
Absolutely.
but then she's like, "All right, come on, funny boy." But no, I'm gonna say what her gifts are on the air and see if she
Oh,
actually
yeah.
listens to
Oh,
it.
this will
I'm gonna
really test if
test it.
she's watching or not.
I'm gonna test this. Okay, she's a huge fan of Will and Grace. I got her all
Mm.
4 pop figures of the characters.
Oh,
I
nice.
got her. I got her the big Blu-ray box set of His Dark Materials, the season 1 on HBO, and I got. And right now, I did already give her one of her gifts. I could say it out loud. It's a giant, like, huge teddy bear as big as me, and she loved the gift for the first couple days, and then I created a new gag out of it. So the new running gag in my apartment is I have to pratfall really hard and somehow end up 69ing the bear. It's just a weird thing we do.
Hold on.
Like,
Hold on. Because a visual image just popped up in my head. So I have one, oh God, he's going to get it now. So I was going to ask if, Amanda, if we could just get a still shot of him 69 the bear for his comedy page. But I think he's about to do it for us right here live.
A monkey.
so
Oh,
what happens
It's a
is,
monkey. It's not a bear.
it's a monkey. Okay, it's a monkey. Okay, so what happens is I have
Completely different species, man.
So what happens is this makes her laugh all the time. Only on the first 2 shots, and now she hates me. But hey, honey, how you doing? Whoa! Oh
no! What did I just watch? He did it live, though, Amanda. He didn't even have to take a picture. He just did it live for me.
There'll be a hole in the bottom of her skin.
Thank you. And I think Darth says it best. For a few minutes, it's getting pretty deep. It really is.
Yeah, it already did. It already did. Usually it takes us about 10 to 15 minutes, but no, we hit it right out of the gate. So congratulations.
Well, hey, like the bet. Well, all I got to say is, like any great STD or lovemaking, share it. Share this link right now. All right.
Share it like you shared chlamydia. There you go.
But no, out of all seriousness, she loves me and she's wonderful. But anyways, John, how about you? What's your plans for Valentine's Day?
Well, I mean, I just got my wife and daughter a little something each. I usually try to get them a little gift and some candy and a nice thoughtful card. Some years I'll go all out, other years a little more reserved. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. I don't like to create a precedent that every year it's going to be like this magical, huge thing. I hope I don't sound like a horrible person for saying that. But no, so this year a little more low key. It's on a Sunday, so no one's got work, no one's babysitting anybody, nothing like that. So we're just going to spend a nice, quiet family day together, hanging out, watching some stuff. I think I finally convinced my daughter to let me force her to watch Flight of the Navigator. So that will be exciting. I've been working on that since Disney Plus came out. So I think it's going to happen on Sunday. We recently watched Ernest Goes to Camp. I finally got her to watch that, and she actually liked it. So I was very happy, but that's one of my favorite movies all time. So I was really excited about that. But yeah, pretty low key here. Nothing crazy going on. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I always like seeing them be happy and discover what I got them and, that type of thing. So, just fun family time. So,
real quick, we'll just jump over to the comment section before we get into our topic. Hello, PETA. I got a bit of animal abuse to report. Poor monkey.
I mean, Darth isn't wrong, and if he was smart, he would have gathered that screenshot, and he's probably already emailed it, which means it might be making its way to Carol Baskin at any point. So just get ready for that.
All right. Well, let's get over to our topic tonight: romantic comedy.
We love everybody, but we want to have fun doing it.
Let's talk about romantic comedies. First off, Amanda, we'll kind of use your comedy to slip into the topic. All right.
Okay.
Okay, that sounded dirtier than I wanted it to. I'm sorry.
That's exactly how I wanted to go in.
What I'm trying to say is Amanda's gonna peg this joke. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. Amanda.
I'll add that to my rep.
Now, Amanda, I mean, I still remember the one that you headlined and pretty much was like you had Standing Crowd in Wild Goose, and you talk about love and everything and romance. What draws you to talking comedically about love? Why do you think there is so many romantic comedy movies and maybe even stand-up jokes?
I think a big reason that romance is such a huge, topic in general, especially with romantic comedy and things like that, is because it's really one of the only human emotions that can fuck you up for a long time.
I don't disagree.
It's just right? It's such a tender emotion. It's one of those topics and emotions that you think is like always just so positive. When you think love, it's always supposed to be this warm, gushy pink, rare steak. It's delicious, it's awesome, but it doesn't come without its share of stumbles. And so I think that's why it's so popular. I mean, everybody can relate, and especially with I know my comedy and your comedy, Jesse, there's a lot based in it because who knows, maybe we're a little obsessed about it and we want to talk about it, and shit's kind of crazy, right? Before we settle down. So, I mean, I think that's where it comes from for me.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Van Gogh cut his ear off for a girl. All right. That's
commitment.
What?
That's commitment, man.
What?
He cut off an appendage. That's commitment.
I mean, after that, I mean, his wife would always complain because he couldn't hear shit. Keep coming.
What?
Keep coming. I hate myself. Don't worry, I hate myself. Anyways, so let's jump on. We have a few. We'll talk about our romantic comedies that we like and what we think are good examples. We have Darth that dropped a comment. Let's talk some of what he's got. The Wedding Planner. Now, I have not personally seen The Wedding Planner. Have you guys seen it?
Isn't that one of the J-Lo ones that always comes up on the worst list?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Amanda, speak to us. What do you think of it, and what do you think excels here, and what do you think doesn't?
We're gonna expand on J-Lo really quickly because she definitely, I would say, at one point was definitely one of the queens of romantic comedies, along with like Reese Witherspoon, Anne Hathaway. We're gonna focus on J-Lo real quick because I don't think she's really great at anything that she does.
That's awful.
She does have she has a niche in rom-com that is, I mean, her movies I think they're well-rounded. I think they give you exactly what you want if you're looking for a romantic comedy, blended in with the chick flick, because I think that's important for this show is, some romantic comedies are going to be chick flicks. Not all romantic comedies are chick flicks. Some romantic comedies are bro films, or mixed in with action, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So back to J-Lo, I think her movies are okay. I think they're okay for what they are. They have a beginning, a premise, a plot, I know that's really basic to say, but she has a charm about her. I will comment on her weird ethnicities, though. In all of her movies, she can never just play a Puerto Rican woman like she really is. I think she played a Puerto Rican woman once in Made in Manhattan. Every other time, she's either been an Italian, or like a dark-skinned, let's say an Italian again. I don't understand why the filmmakers want her to be anything but her race. I don't get it. Just let her be a Puerto Rican woman.
I will say this right now, that the Italian people have not forgiven her yet.
Thank you.
But anyways, no, you bring up a good point, Amanda. One of my favorite Latino comics, John Leguizamo, who I think is just a brilliant comic in general, hysterical. One of my influences. He actually did an interview. Yes, the thing we're doing right now. Yeah. An interview regarding that Hollywood kind of, it seems like they don't pay attention to that race. And why do you think they keep shoehorning J-Lo's Italian?
The early 2000s were just a very weird time.
I mean, it was a transitional time. It
was
really
a transitional,
It was a transitional time. We
I
were
mean,
going from digital to analog, or analog to digital. You know, things were improving. Technology was improving. Like we were moving more into acceptance with equality and other people. Like that whole bridge started to get torn down. So I mean, it was just a very, very transitional period.
Exactly. I mean, that reminds me of like Karen from The Office, which again, those are sitcom rom-coms, but you know, Karen on The Office, played by Rashida Jones, she is a white and black woman, but in The Office, she was Italian. Like, I don't get like why. Speaking as an Italian, Jesse, what is the deal with that? Why do we think? Why does Hollywood think that anyone of any skin color can play it? I don't get it.
It's the whitest.
That is a great point. Wow.
It's the whitest in ethnicity, I think. I think it's like, all right, look, if we're gonna have to have people of color in here, let's make it the Italians. All right, let's just do that.
It's the
Which-
it's
and
the
here's
black
the
people
thing.
of all white people, right?
Yeah. Before I get canceled for this, I want to just get out in front of this. In high school, I was forced to play as a shark in West Side Story. They made me play Hispanic. I want to apologize for that right now. I want to apologize to you, Amanda. I want to apologize to everybody.
Don't apologize for it. You're just getting reparations from J-Lo.
You're right. You're gonna be Italian. I'm gonna be Puerto Rican. Thank you so much.
Jesse's waiting on that J-Lo check right now. It's like a stimulus check. You get one every month, but it's from J-Lo.
And it's like Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, has a joke about how he likes to have sex with the black people of every different race. So in his mind, that's like Armenian. White people, black people of white people are Armenian, or I would even say Italian and slide it in. You know. Okay, I'm not going to go into all of them. Just watch the joke because I really don't want their show to be canceled because if it's going to get canceled, I might be a factor in that. I might be the one to do it because move on. Let's move on.
Okay. We'll transition. Final words.
Loved it.
Final words about J-Lo. You got any final words?
I would say that. So I think really the only J-Lo film that I liked was the reverse rom-com she did called Enough, where she ended up kicking the Rocketeer's ass at the end because he was stalking her the whole time. So I guess maybe that's a rom-com, depending on how you look at it. But
great movie.
Yeah,
not a way. It's fantastic.
I saw that in the theater. I didn't mind it. And I did see, unfortunately, Made in Manhattan in the theater. It was okay. It is what it is. But other than maybe half of Geely, I haven't seen any other J-Lo movies. So.
Well, let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I'm with Darth, the wedding planner. You can give it another chance. Give when your daughter's like 13 and wants to watch a movie with you, turn the wedding planner on. It's not bad. It's not bad.
I'm more of a Jennifer Aniston rom-com person than I am a J-Lo rom-com person, if that makes sense.
She's a very charming lady.
All right. Let's jump down to another comment. 51st Dates. I think this is a pillar.
Wow.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I believe Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore kind of like cut a corner out of the romantic comedy genre. And I mean, you had The Wedding Singer, then this movie, and then they followed it up with Blended. I mean, they kind of own this. Like, get a few more of those.
And it was decent. It was one of the look. I don't mind Adam Sandler movies, except a few that I just don't like. But other than that, like Little Nicky, fucking hate that movie.
I watch it all day.
Wow, dude, how the hell are you doing that voice and accent for a whole movie, dude? No,
that is great.
No. But,
chicken is the shit.
Yeah, but overall, I don't mind Adam Sandler. I know a ton of people hate him, but he's kind of branched out since his 90s comedies, and I don't mind them. So yeah, 51st Dates I liked. If you want to call Pixels, it's more of the romance is kind of secondary or tertiary, but there's still a romance there. Billy Madison getting with his teacher, Happy Gilmore getting with the girl that ended up getting into Modern Family. Oh, Joey Bowen, I totally blocked her name for a second. So, you know, Adam Sandler always has romance in his movies, but it's always like in the back end. It's not what's in the forefront of the movie.
See, this is what you can do when you make movies for yourself. I personally think Adam Sandler is the king of rom-com, and because he always writes in romance for himself, he's like literally proving to the rest of the world that goofy looking dudes can and do get laid.
Yeah, there you go. Great point, Amanda. We could end the show right now.
I was hoping we were gonna end with Adam Sandler, but we had to come in guns blazing because I mean, we may as well.
Yeah.
Wedding Singer, best rom-com of all time.
Got that on my list to talk about later when we get to it, because I know all three of us like it. Yep, great film.
We'll talk about it later.
Well, let's throw up Wedding Crashers, another great example of a rom-com right there. A guy who breaks his rules of wedding crashing just so he can be with a girl longer and then falls in love. Let's see, Hitch, another classic romantic comedy with an unexpected duo of Will Smith and Kevin James.
Yeah,
like, what an unexpected duo, and how well did that work, man? Like that was good, and I liked it. Was a fun story. Dark, first 5 minutes of fun. Oh my god, I can't even read that.
No. That's classic Disney bullshit where they do that on purpose to keep the parents giving them money. That's why they do that. Toy Story, Up, you know, all that shit. Little Mermaid, even, like, I mean, it's all in there, right? It's all in there, and they do it on purpose because they know if they can get the parent to cry in the movie, then the parent's going to buy the movie when it comes out on DVD. The parent's going to buy 7 toys to accompany that for the kid because the parent's going to go, that was a damn good movie. It made me cry. Therefore, I'm willing to open my wallet some more. They do that shit on purpose.
Like within the first 3 minutes of Miscarriage, I remember watching. I was like, "Jeez!"
Right? Like, where's this movie going?
Like they didn't like tuck it into the back, like like
right there.
30 minutes in. It was just like, "Look, we're putting this out on Front Street," and we're like, "Oh, Mom!" And I actually saw it in theaters, and I heard a little girl say, "Why? What's wrong with their stomach?" And I was like,
uncomfortable.
I'm not gonna lie, I was listening. I think everybody behind me was trying to listen to that conversation. They be damned the movie. We're like, what is this mother gonna say? Desiree totally agrees with you, Amanda. Adam Sandler is the rom-com king. I never really thought about that, but
I didn't either. You
really did. Crazy Stupid Love. This movie, in my opinion, Desiree, was horribly advertised. The movie is not. The movie's amazing. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies. But it's real and there's a hilarious perspective. She's absolutely correct. But like the trailer made it look like any old romantic comedy. But this was like cutting. It was like
I'll put that on my list. I'll watch that.
Yeah, and the twist in the comedy is just brilliant. Jameson Roger, Addicted to Love. I never seen this before. Has anybody ever seen this?
No.
It sounds familiar. Is that? I think it's like 90s, maybe.
Check that out, John.
80s? It sounds so familiar. Like
Jameson. Now we got to. Of course, I get the Robert Palmer video, which is the next.
Yeah. You got to be careful.
Excellent.
All right.
There it is. Well, 1997.
Matthew Broderick, Meg Ryan. Okay.
Oh yeah, I know what this is. Yeah,
Meg Ryan, Queen of rom-com.
But yeah, like basically it was like Sleepless in Seattle all the way up through the late 90s. It was just Meg Ryan all over the place, and I actually have one of her movies on my good list too. So
nice.
Now I'm gonna before we move on to the next segment, I'm gonna throw my suggestion out of a great romantic comedy that I just enjoy a lot. I don't want to seem cliche and say Wedding Singer, which it kind of is Wedding Singer. It's such a damn good movie. 51st Dates.
Really,
I'm gonna try to be original and step away from that. I'm gonna step away from that.
Let's see what you got.
I'm gonna kind of know where Guns Blazes, Bride of Chucky.
Okay, I can accept that. I mean, it's kind of hybrid because it's in the horror genre as well. But depending on how you look at it, it could easily be romantic comedy because let's be honest, anything past Child's Play 2 is a comedy. So,
yeah,
I get down on that.
It taught me something that, hey, if she cooks you dinner, you do the dishes, or else she's gonna throw a fucking knife at your head. And you know what? That has helped me in my marriage tremendously.
There
So
you
that's
go.
why that's my argument for being a romantic comedy.
So,
Amanda, oh, sorry.
No, real quick. I want to do one of these curveballs before we move on. So, Amanda, what's your curveball rom-com that we don't see coming that you recommend?
Curveball rom-com. Oh God. Come back to me on that one. Curveball. Holy.
Okay, I'll go.
Curveball.
Now, the one I'm going to recommend is it's not a romantic comedy where the romance is in the front. It's one of those where it's like secondary, tertiary. But it would be Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. I fucking love that movie, and I am not afraid to admit it. That movie is a good comedy. I like the actors in it. I had the biggest crush on Mira Sorvino in the late 90s. I watched all of her movies, including that stupid Woody Allen movie she was in that was boring as hell. But I watched it because someone told me there were boobs in it, and then there wasn't, and I was really mad. And then she did that horror movie Mimic that wasn't very good, but she was in it. So, yeah, I loved Romeo and Michelle because I like the comedy aspect. I did like how she was pursuing her high school love, and then she found out he turned out to be a piece of shit, which is a great metaphor for life because that happens a lot of times when you reconnect with people later in life. You see they did or didn't turn out the way you thought they were going to. And then they work in the little love story at the end with I forget what the guy's name is.
Alan Cummings.
Yeah, Alan Cummings, where he finally gets with Michelle and they get together. And it's a little materialistic, but overall the movie works because it's like, like 80s and late 90s blend, and Jean Garofalo's in it, which I always think is funny,
and even
regardless what others say. So yeah, that would be mine. Again, not a in your face romantic comedy, but I love it. I'll defend that movie to anybody who says otherwise.
Yeah. Amanda, do you need more time? I can go through the comments to give you.
It's fine. If I have something, I'll come back with it later. Now, see, movies are hard. It's hard for me to drudge up movies a lot. I've watched a lot of movies in my life, but dare I say I'm not a cinephile. I don't know what I do with my time. I think I just I just stare. Nope. I just stare and I watch people and I choose I'm doing it.
Amanda, you're a commentator. That's what you do. You commentate and you entertain me daily on Facebook. It never fails. At least once a day, you'll post something. I'm like, there's Amanda. So it's all good. So there you go. There's your niche, and that's totally fine.
Let's jump over to here real quick, just to run down the comment section. Dart says Megan. Yep, that's a good combination for romantic
I got
comedy.
one on my list.
Yo versus Volcano. There we go.
I forgot about that.
Rumor has it, which has a callback to The Graduate.
I haven't
seen
movie
that. Right there. Excellent
I haven't
movie.
seen Rumor Has It. I mean, I've seen The Graduate, but not Rumor Has It. I might add that to the list. Thanks, Des.
All right, here's a curveball. Here's a curveball. A James Gunn classic right there.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, my wife and I love Slither. Like, just absolutely love it. I never thought of it as a romantic comedy, but I could see the twist on it that you could get there. But my wife and I absolutely love that movie. Love it. So
I have to give that a rewatch now and try to see it through that angle. But
yeah,
let's move over. We're gonna move over to our next section. Comment your most hated rom-coms. Okay, listen. Oh, by the way, I just want to say one of the best rom-coms I forgot to say in the first part, Princess Bride. Great example. Just want to say
yeah,
that's
perfect.
a staple. But now let's go into the hated part. Let's talk hated.
I can get to that one.
Yeah. All right. She's ready to go. All right.
Go ahead.
Amanda. No. You lead, Amanda. You lead us.
Amanda, you got this.
Shallow fucking Hal.
Shallow Hal's got a gal.
Real quick, I want to just do one thing real quick. In my best Palpatine voice. Yes. Release the hate.
Yeah.
Release the hate. All right, Amanda.
Go through you.
Why is Shallow Hal awful? Go.
It's fucking awful not because of Jack Black. Okay, I want to say that Jack Black is just Jack Black. No, Jack Black on Jack Black, no matter where Jack Black goes. Okay, so he's perfectly fine. Gwyneth Paltrow, I think that's my issue was Gwyneth Paltrow is a decent actress, and they underutilized her. She
Yeah.
was a prop for the movie. She was
I could see that.
They could have cast a broomstick and then 8 broomsticks taped together to play fat Gwyneth Paltrow, and it would have been the same. She had no active part in the rom-com. It was all about how Hal was like trying to get over dating a fat chick, even though he's fucking fat. That's another issue. That was like the first glaring reason why Shallow Hal was trash when I was a kid. I'm like, but he's fat.
Right,
Why doesn't he
right.
like the fat girl? I don't
Right.
understand. And then she's breaking chairs, and it's like, this isn't funny, okay? Like, no, nobody's gonna break a metal chair in the middle of a restaurant. It's just just throw it away. Just they may as well not even had a chick. It should have been just Jason Alexander and Jack Black like trying to score poon like the whole movie, and like I don't know,
it
rejected or something.
But I will say, I did like Jason Alexander's character because he was twice as bad as Hal was. But the reason I liked his character is because he wasn't trying to hide it. He was fucking honest about it, just like Quagmire is. Quagmire is honest about all of his faults. And so was Jason Alexander. But the best part was he had a fucking tail. And he showed the tail. And that's why I liked and it wagged. Exactly. I thought that was the funniest part. That and when he was complaining about his ex-girlfriend's toe and how it was longer than all the other ones. Like I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And then I didn't realize at the time, like, more women than not actually end up having those long toes, and men too, where you have the one that's longer than all the other ones. I didn't realize that was as common as it was. It actually is. But I just thought that was hilarious. It was an early 2000s movie. I was in my early 20s, so I laughed at that. But I agree with Amanda. I thought the fat jokes were kind of dumb. It wasn't funny. It wasn't entertaining. And to her point, it was more like the gags weren't funny because they weren't very realistic. And so I just didn't really care. But Jason Alexander showing the tail, that won it at least for me. So
yeah. I mean, when you do juvenile humor like that, you have to ask who you're marketing to. Obviously, that movie, you're not marketing to the highest IQs.
Right.
Oh, he did a fart joke. That's who you're advertising to.
Well, Jack Black was hot at that time, so people were just going to see it because he was in it. They didn't care what the movie was about.
Exactly. But I mean, and I agree with all of Amanda's points. But Amanda, you brought up a very interesting point too, as well, that I didn't even think about when working on this show. How women are in the bad romantic comedies are used as a prop. Can you speak to that more?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can do that. Like, I know that Shallow Hal definitely is a big example of that, and I feel like in rom-coms where maybe the man gets top billing, and I won't necessarily speak too much on that, like by way of like an Adam Sandler, but like let's do like a like a Hugh Grant even a little bit. It's kind of one of those. First of all, I just want to put in. I really want to read this from my notes. Hugh Grant is the rom-com hero. Literally, nobody asked for. Okay, nobody. I'm very glad that he's movies. But yeah, when the protagonist has a goal and the goal, is male, sometimes you do run into those things where, okay, the whole objective is to get the girl. I'm going to get the girl. Can't hardly wait. We're moving into teen movies, but like in that, for example, that's a big example of literally the girl. Her name is Amanda, played by Jennifer Love Hewitt, who was an A-list actress at that time. Yeah. She had 2 lines.
Right.
That whole movie. 2 lines at the end of the movie. And the guy was chasing her like some weird, horny creep. But there you have it. That's it.
Yeah. I do like some of the other secondary characters in that movie, because some of those characters are funny. But I totally agree with you. That main premise, and especially with her, and for her as being as hot as she was at the time in terms of her popularity, that was very strange that she just had very, very limited speaking parts because they were trying to focus on connecting too many dots for things. So
I want to, and I want to give a good example to counter the prop. I know better term, the female love prop, but I guess that's what we'll call it. Yeah, object. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't word good. All right, I just don't. And Harry Met Sally. That was two characters who were both fleshed out by the end of it, and they felt equal to each other at the. It didn't seem like one was a goal. It didn't. It seemed like love was a goal, not having to be with Harry or having to be with Sally is the goal. And I think that's, I guess, maybe the original sin with romantic comedies when you treat the person like the goal in the story. And you're right. Only two lazy lines. Two lazy lines. And it's like, whoa, you could have used her. You could have had a better story. You could have got to know her character more. You could have had her in on the joke, which I think is why Adam Sandler's rom-coms are good, because all the characters are in on the joke. But when you treat the one like an object, you're just kind of like, again, why not cast the broomstick?
Yeah, love is not a goal. Love is a development. It's something that just happens in your everyday life.
Yeah.
And I will share what I would consider one of my favorite rom-coms, but I know that John needs to tell us his hated rom-com.
Yes.
Are you passing that to me now?
Sounds like it.
Okay. So, I'll be honest, I don't really have any because I mean, I'm not a huge rom-com viewer, if you will, but when I was going through all different types of lists, there was like Vanity Fair, Rolling Stone, like all these lists, right? I kept seeing all the movies that I had seen, and they were all on the good list, and I kept seeing movies on the bad list. I'm like, never seen that, never seen that, never seen that. So, I really haven't seen a lot of bad ones. And there's two that frequently came up on the bad list that I wouldn't consider bad. One of those was Employee of the Month. I get it. People hate Dane Cook, whatever. I personally like the movie because I like Dane Cook. Again, whatever. But I also loved all the secondary characters, and they kind of made that for me. His group of friends, even Creepo Andy Dick was hilarious in that. Harlan Williams was in that. I love Harlan Williams. So I liked the other characters in that movie. Another one, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. People hate that movie because it's Adam Sandler and Kevin James. I fucking love it because it's got a great message. Adam Sandler has the most character growth out of everybody. He overcomes a lot of his bias and bigotry. He becomes better. He stands up for Nick Swartzen, who's the gay character, Jessica Biel's brother. He punches a guy out for him, and it creates that better friendship between him and Kevin James. Kevin James getting over the death of his wife. Like, there's a lot of deepness to that movie that people don't give credit for because they just look at it as, it's Kevin James and Adam Sandler. But there's a lot more to that movie. So I actually like that. But the only one that I could really come up with bad, you guys are going to crack up at anybody in the comments, is actually Mannequin. You remember that movie, like Kim Cattrall's like first movie where she was a mannequin that came to life in a department store and the dude fell in love with her.
Yeah.
And it had the Starship song, nothing's gonna stop us now. That song. So, dude, but the movie is stupid. It's the dumbest premise. Yes, this inanimate object turns into this beautiful woman at night that this guy falls in love with, but then during the day she's a mannequin, and let's put him in all these clumsy scenarios where he's waking up naked in a display box with her or on the street with her, and people think he's mentally handicapped now, and it's just the dumbest shit ever. But I know a lot of people love that movie. As an adult, like, I actually went back and watched it years ago. I was like, this is not what I remember when I was like 8 and actually saw it. I watch it now as an adult, and I'm just like, this movie is just fucking terrible. So, but I had to scrape to get one of the bad ones because I just haven't really seen a lot of the bad ones. So that's mine. I hope I didn't let anybody down with that.
No, that one came out left field for me. So you're
there
good.
You go, man. That's what the show's all about.
Here's a Darth throughout train wreck. I mean, here's the thing. I enjoyed Amy Schumer's growth as a comedian growing up. I feel like she's taken some step backwards in her career, which sucks because I feel like she was very smart, I would say one of the smartest comics at one point. And
she started, yes, absolutely.
No, yeah, I think it was Live at the Apollo. That was by far her best special.
Yeah, that was a
Hands
great
down.
special. I agree.
I seen her material live. When I saw her live, I was rolling out of my seat. She had just the smartest material ever. And after that, then she started doing more juvenile jokes, which sucked because I was like, no, don't do that. I loved your, I don't know. I mean, but for me, I like Trainwreck. I thought it was good. I know some people didn't like it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very smartly written. I thought she dug deep. She talked about personal things. For me, so I liked it. What do you guys think of that?
I think Bill
what do you
Hader
think of Amy
did a lot
Schumer's
better.
romantic comedy?
That's my response.
Haven't seen it.
There you go. We don't want to ruin it then for you. Go
I
ahead and
don't
watch
wanna
it.
ruin
Let
it.
us know what you think.
It sounds like a train wreck.
No pun intended. It's not
No
just
pun
a clever
intended.
name.
No, yeah. But yeah, no. And like I said, I think with relationship humor, that's the danger. And I think Chris Rock said it best. You know, a comedian will write the same joke 5 times in a row. He'll expand, grow differently. Watch Bill Burr. He'll talk about guns all the time in his first few specials. And I think the scary thing about love and romance is the territory. And I've noticed this for myself. I had to step back where I was like, am I making too many sex jokes? Like just empty sex jokes where like there's no substance. Like I was like, anybody could have wrote this sex joke, not me. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not sure. And Amanda, we talk about sex in our material. Have you ever written a joke where you're like, no, anybody could have wrote this. I didn't. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have that Ramirez stamp on it. I don't know. Have you felt like that ever?
Vaguely, yes. I would like to say that all my material has the Ramirez stamp on it, and it's very, 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 very special stuff. Nobody could possibly relate. No,
Give yourself some credit.
Oh, yes, my dick jokes. I think that's what I like about some of the stuff when I was writing it at the time, because I did like the relatability factor of it. And I try to do as much research as I can to make sure things don't flow into other people's stuff. But, but I agree. I agree with you there. It's like, I think the thing about it is that everybody has sex. And if everybody's not having sex, everybody should be having sex. And at some point it's not going to be original because everybody's doing it. So you pretty much just have to put your flavor into it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like everybody drinks pineapple before they get sucked off. But I'm if you had Dairy Queen beforehand, because maybe I taste some blueberries in there this time. Like
there we go.
I don't know. I know. Too much.
Well, no, actually, that is actually a good segue to our last segment, which is talking about all the ones that we like. So that transitions us actually into our most liked rom-coms.
Oh, the most liked. Sorry, I had the what the fucks.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Sorry. I don't banter well either.
It's okay. So, we've talked about the obscure. We've talked about the bad. We've got about 15 minutes left. Let's talk about the good, because that's what everybody wants to hear about. So I know Darth threw out Mr. and Mrs. Smith earlier. I totally agree with that. I'm just going to come out and say it. One of mine is Pretty Woman, because I feel like even though it's insanely unrealistic, it is a classic rag to riches love story where there's conflict in it on both people, and they overcome that and they come together, and it's done in a very comedic way. Again, supporting cast is fantastic. Another Jason Alexander just playing a son of a bitch in this movie, which actually I really like. And that was pre-Seinfeld, I think, right? No. No, that was 1990. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Seinfeld had already started. My apologies. But then I also forget the actor's name who played the concierge at the hotel. I loved that guy. I loved his character. I love how he partnered up with Julia Roberts to teach her how to be a lady and taught her like seating placement, which utensils to use, all that stuff. But no, I think Pretty Woman's a classic. It's timeless. I saw it on TV a little while ago. It to me, it felt like it held up. There wasn't anything I felt like they didn't, other than just technology. But you're going to have that in any movie that was, back in that time till now. But outside of that, I think it still holds up. It's it's a good story. Everybody grows and evolves. So I throw that out there.
Nice. Amanda, what is your like diehard favorite then?
I'm gonna be nice to Jack Black this time and say The Holiday.
Okay.
I have not seen that.
I will watch it anytime it's on. And one thing that I really love about it, by contrast to Shallow Hal, is that the four main characters each have a stake. They each have a lot of like deep development. So the four characters are Cameron Diaz, Jude Law, or is it Ewan McGregor? I don't know. I can't tell them apart. I think it's Ewan McGregor. Jack Black and Kate Winslet, and they're paired off as such. And so I won't give away too much of the plot.
That movie now,
right? But essentially, it's like a timeshare thing. The two ladies of the film, they swap houses to get away from their lives, and they end up developing friendships and then relationships with the individuals that the other people deal with on a daily basis. And it's such a nice, well-rounded movie. And even though love is like the huge theme of the movie, it's really about like finding yourself and, just trying to navigate your life while love kind of, punches you in the face. And I think that's how love always happens, is like, they always say you're not going to find it when you're looking for it. And I hate to tell people that they're right. It is true. Like, you will never find it if you're looking for it. And it's when you want to get away from it all, or you want to have like a change in your life, that like something awesome could happen. But you still have to deal with all of your issues of your everyday life to get, to get to that point.
I'm definitely interested in, now that I've looked it up. I know I haven't seen it, but I know a little bit more about it now. I am going to watch it per your recommendation, and it is Jude Law, not Ewan McGregor.
Jude Law. Yeah, he's adorable in that movie.
I mean, is Jude Law not adorable in any other movies? And I mean, even in AI, he was adorable, and he was a weirdo in that movie. So, I mean, just saying. Just throwing that out there for all the Jude Law fans.
Yeah.
Jesse, what's one on your top list? I know we're all dancing around the one we all want to talk about, so let's get some of these over with, and we'll finish that last one at the end. So,
all right, this one for me, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Nia Vadarlo, she wrote the hell out of that script. She starred the hell out of that movie, and it's just such a good romance movie, and it's original in my sense. Like, up until that point, there hasn't been a whole family ethnicity comedy with romance. Nothing like that strong. Where I come from a strong Italian background family, and it's a lot like that. And a lot of people can relate to that movie because everybody's like, "Oh, that's like my family." Anybody who comes from like a really strong ethnicity, So, and I say strong because I'm like, it's not like you have an English background and they're like, "Oh, fuck off! You will not date my daughter." Like, none of that shit. Fuck that. I'm talking about like Italian, Hispanic, French. Maybe French. I don't know. Do French have a crazy background like that? I don't know. Point is, it like that sort of story where I don't know this. I comment below. I'm ignorant. I'm an idiot. But point is, it's a movie about an outsider trying to get into a new family while somebody's trying to find love, and the characters both grow, and it's romantic because you see how Ian, he's totally uncomfortable, but he will do anything for her because he loves her, and she's totally uncomfortable because she has to fight against her family, but she does it because he loves him, and it's a beautiful story. It's based on her actual romance with her husband, who's also who's Ian Gomez, who plays one of the cousins in the movie. So,
and I remember when that movie came out, it blew up. It was huge. It was
huge.
everywhere. It
Huge.
was a really big deal. I saw it once. I don't remember a whole lot from it because I've only seen it once, but I'm definitely willing to go back and watch per your recommendation. I want to throw out a couple more and get your guys' opinions here. We're going to do a little rapid fire just so we can get a couple other name drops out there. And like I said, we'll talk about our big one closer to the end. But a couple other throwouts. Along Came Polly. That's a Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, yeah.
Great story, opposites attract type thing. It's just a cute movie. I'll admit it. I don't care. I enjoy it. I like Jennifer Aniston. I like Ben Stiller. I like their characters, and I like how they brought them together. Something About Mary, I absolutely love. That is one of my favorite comedies. I mean, Chris Elliott just holding it down. The whole movie is wood.
Oh my God.
I mean, goddamn, he had the white head on his eye and everything. It was so great. You've Got Mail, going back to the Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan era type thing. It's a little dated now just because a lot of the technology that they focused on that was new at that time that is ancient now. So there's a little bit of that data. Plus, it's like big corporation taking over small business. Some people feel differently about that now than maybe they did back then. Also, Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock and Michael Caine and Benjamin Bratt. I mean, there we go. That's a great comedy that I'm not afraid to admit that I like. There is romance in it. I like the cast, the actors, the story. It's the fun movie that you don't hate by the time you're done watching it. And Sandy B brings it like she always does. So, and let's see one more. Another Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn in The Breakup. It's kind of a reverse romantic comedy, but just how they go at each other. And then they realize too late that they still love each other. But then the ending, it kind of makes you think they could get back together. Again, all the side characters, Vince Vaughn's brothers are absolutely hilarious. Vincent D'Onofrio's in that. He does a great job. So, I just want to throw a couple rapid fires out there. Do you guys have any comments on those? You want to throw out some more of your own?
No, I feel like you hit everything I wanted to say too. How about you, Amanda?
I'm going to throw one out because it needs honorable mention for sure. I highly suggest everybody watch The Wedding Banquet. The Wedding Banquet, I believe I think it's a Chinese American film, but the plot is essentially there is a gay couple with a Chinese American man and a white man, and essentially they have to hide their relationship. So a good friend of the couple, they have a wedding. So they have a sham wedding, and I won't say anymore. There is as much drama and meaning in the movie as it is hilarious. So The Wedding Banquet, highly recommend.
Oh, wow.
I'm adding that to my list.
Real quick, everybody should know this about that movie. Ang Lee directed it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so... No, the reason why I think that's crazy is because the Ang Lee we know today, who does these big, huge Hollywood films, he's not the person you think would do a romantic comedy. So that's very interesting. I added that to
my list too. I'm interested.
Yeah, because that is a good one. Thank you so much, Amanda. That was a good one.
Yeah, no problem. It's pretty balanced though. It's gonna gut you as much as it's gonna make you smile. So
that's good.
Sure.
I don't like watching those movies that just set you up to be sad the whole time. It's like, I'm not trying to be entertained that way. You know, you want to hit me like Beaches at the end or something, go ahead. But I don't want to be in it the whole damn movie. You know what I mean?
That was like the most tough. That was a weird tough guy thing. Look, if you're gonna hit me like Beaches at the end, I wasn't ready for that.
We're ready for Beaches, man.
I want to throw out another one. This is more of a strong female lead than it is a rom-com, but the woman is motivated by love. The whole movie, it's Muriel's Wedding.
Yeah. I haven't heard of that.
I have seen Muriel's Wedding one time.
All right, watch it again. It's Toni Collette. So United States of Terror, about a boy, Toni Collette. I believe she's an Australian actress, I think. She might be British, I don't know. But she's it's set in New Zealand, I think. And she's just a girl who's obsessed with ABBA, and she's obsessed with getting married. So whatever she's got to do to get there, she will do, and it has a great ending. I won't spoil it for you.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that one out.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I right now I'm just looking at some of the high praises it has. It's like Ridley Scott's like I've seen this movie 6 times.
Hey man, Ridley Scott's gonna put his stamp of approval. You know, he's a great filmmaker. Every now and then you'll be like, ooh, can't believe he did that. But nonetheless, the dude made Alien and Blade Runner, so no one really has anything bad to say about him. They're more just surface level complaints. So we got 5 minutes left. Do you guys want to talk about it? Or you just want to end it with The Wedding Singer? Because I feel like we've been waiting all episode to talk about it. So.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's
talk about it. The Wedding Singer is by far, it's such a good romantic comedy.
It really is.
It's uncredited writing from Adam Sandler because he's not credited for the film, but he did help write it. But what's so cool about that is the song he gave us. And then he did an updated version of that song in a stand-up comedy special, which was fantastic. So he kind of gave us a mini sequel to that movie with the song.
Well, wait, which one is it? Is it the Linda song when he was listening to The Cure?
No, the growing old one. The growing old one.
I hope you fucking choke.
I always love that scene where John Lovitz is like, he's losing his mind.
And I'll be the benefits. And he just like disappears back into the curtain. I love his cameo in that movie. Absolutely perfect cameo for John Lovitz. Absolutely perfect.
He knocks it out. Now, what was your first reaction to watching the Wedding Singer, Amanda? Like, why do you think this movie is so impactful and it's talked about today? I mean, it's over what? Almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's about, I think it's like 23 years old or something. It's older than 2 of my siblings. So I was I was probably about 9 or 10 years old when it came out. And I mean, it was an instant hit, you know, I mean.
1998, so 23 years.
So, you know, it's one of those movies where if your parents love it as much as you love it, that movie ain't going nowhere. It's timeless. And why do I think, what was the question? Why do I think it's just like this?
Timeless, impactful. Why do you think it's still talked about today or even watched today?
Well, let's see. It's got the nostalgia. So
yes.
They do the 90s so well because they make fun of it. He's making fun of the 90s like, I'm sorry, not 90s, 80s.
80s.
Yeah, we did this in the 80s. Yeah, this stuff was really popular. Yeah, it was really goofy. Yeah, I partook in it. Let's all have a big laugh about it. And it was just super fun. It was a great, fun spoof on what the 80s was like. So you're going to instantly love it for that. It had, you know, this, I'll save that one for last. You know, Adam Sandler's just genuine, like, understanding of his comedy. And it just felt like he really honed and, like, polished his flavor in that movie. That was like, boom, he's here. He's not going anywhere. So that, like, kind of cemented it for him. I mean, I feel like each character just had such strong development, even if they had a small role. Like, I think about his 2 best buddies, like, you know, that are in all of his movies. Like, I forget what his name is, but he played the limo driver in Wedding Singer, and he's played,
Alan Calder,
Yeah, you know, I mean, he was one of my favorite characters of the movie.
Absolutely.
He's just this little playboy, but like, he actually
when he wore the Michael Jackson jacket. Remember when he wore the red Michael Jackson jacket?
Right.
And he had the glove at the party.
Exactly. You know, I mean, each person, no matter how small, will have some good, strong character development. And then there's just that undeniable, like Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler magic. Like, I mean, how many of us growing up were like, I wish they would just get married. They're so perfect together, but at least they're married in like 3 different movies. So
right. And that was like if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was Barrymore's big comeback movie after she hit rock bottom with all of her, you know, issues that she was having. She bounced back, and that was, I think, one of her big ones on her comeback. And I mean, she's been on the incline ever since. But that was a big deal for her coming back too. I love 80s. Everybody about me knows that. The music is just on point. The costuming and the sets are on point. I love his sister's husband, I forget his name, which is really bad since I love the movie, because he's like, when they're talking about something and she's his wife's yelling for him to do something, he's like, hold on, I'm watching Dallas. They shot JR or something. Like, he's all into Dallas. Like, I absolutely love that he was into Dallas. I also love Glenn, who's Barrymore's fiance, the asshole, because he loves Miami Vice. He dresses like Miami Vice. He has the DeLorean, and when they're leaving the bar, he's rocking the Miami Vice theme in the DeLorean. Just so great. Just so great. And that piggybacks off what Amanda said about the characters. That's why I love The Wedding Singer, because one, it's a great story, but two, just every character in that means something. The old lady singing Rapper's Delight at the end, that's fantastic.
I freaking love Christine Taylor in that movie.
Yeah,
Christine
absolutely.
Taylor always comes in and just like knocks it out, no matter what she does.
Yep.
My favorite line, one of my favorite lines in that movie, and there's so many great lines, was when Glenn's friend, he's like, Robbie Hart, oh man, I heard what happened to you at your wedding. That was so cold. You must have felt like shit. He's like, no, it felt great. Thanks for bringing it up, man. Hey, my parents died when they were 10. We should have to talk about that.
Right. You want to talk about that too? He's like, no, why would we want to talk about that?
I don't know. Why would? Or the one, or his nephew is like saying, like, are you going to have a nervous breakdown?
And he's like, who said that? He's like, everybody in the town has been saying that.
But like, and one of the interesting things about Adam Sandler's character, which he talks about this in a documentary about Rodney Dangerfield. He said that Rodney Dangerfield really is the basis to a lot of his characters. They're kind of in a position where they get no respect. They're down on their luck schmucks, and they end up getting the girl in the end. Yeah, I mean, it's a great formula. He uses it a lot. He turns. I mean, and here's the thing: comedy. That's one of the beauties. You can keep using the same formula over and over, as long as there's new jokes to it. You know what I mean? That's the thing. As long as you got new jokes set to it, great, excellent. Because how many romantic comedies can we talk about where a guy falls in love with a girl, or a girl falls in love with a guy, and they go on this misadventure, and then they end up falling in love? You can name any amount of movies that fill that formula, but how in that, and I think that's almost philosophical. It's the journey that makes us love these movies so much. We watched Adam Sandler's character break down, fall apart, lose his mind at that one wedding reception. All right, Sideburns,
Sideburns lady, the mutant at table 9.
And
he's like, I know that guy's gonna need to eat something, or he's gonna get cranky, and he's like, yeah.
I think that's another thing too that felt good about that movie, is because like the characters weren't an objective. So with Adam Sandler being the protagonist, the objective, yes, it was to be with Drew Barrymore at the end, but she was not the objective, you know, it was the relationship behind it. So by the end of the movie, either you were in love with Adam Sandler or you were in love with Drew Barrymore. Like I don't know. I feel like that story really kind of pulled you in and was like, oh my gosh, these people are great people. They should be together. You're rooting for them.
And that's the one thing I like about Adam Sandler's movie, and you kind of touched upon it. Everybody's in on the joke. No one's used as a prop.
Yeah.
Everybody has their moment, big or small, to shine and get a huge laugh.
Yep.
And I think that, like I said, going back to Shallow Hal, there was never a moment where I was like, fuck, Gweneth Paltrow is funny. Never one moment did I have that moment. You know, you're right, a broomstick. And I think that's what makes Wedding Singer so good. No one felt like a broomstick in that whole movie.
No.
Everybody felt purposeful. Everybody felt on the ball. You know, Drew Barrymore is a very great, quirky, funny actress. Adam Sandler is a good, goofy actress. And seeing those two, you know, blend their humor, blended, get it? Oh, 3 times the charm. Sorry, I had to do it. Anyways, but the point is, it's like that's why it works so much. That's why the comedy works.
You're absolutely right. And to further piggyback off of the whole thing with comparing Shallow Hal and Wedding Singer also is that, you know, Drew Barrymore has her own entire story arc that is independent from others, but then blends with them. And then she has her own set of characters that are all involved with that they are sometimes involved with other plots, but sometimes they're just with hers.
Yes.
So you don't see any of that in Shallow Hal with Gwyneth Paltrow, like at
Right.
all. So
Yeah,
it makes you care about them, and you're like, okay, I know a lot about her. I know a lot about him. I know a lot about the son of a bitch Glenn, and I want the two of these guys to get together. And hey, we got a Billy Idol cameo at the end, which was great too.
Right.
No one talks about Billy Idol that way. I love that. It's hilarious.
but I think one of the slickest parts of that movie is where he's right about Kiss Julie, and he's a musician, and the word he says Billy Idol says every musician's dream. Hey, I like the sound. You should come by my recording studio. Yeah, Billy, can I kiss the girl? Yeah. I just thought that was so funny. Like I mean, that's a musician's dream to hear those words. He's like
from Billy Idol on a flight.
Yeah, like that. But anyways, thank you so much for everybody joining us today. This has been a great show. I want to read a couple of the quick comments. Hector Elizondo, I don't know what that is. I know this. It's the actor. Yes. Sorry, I thought he was saying a movie, and I was like, he has a movie named after him. That's awesome. He deserves it. Runaway Bride, Nottingham Hill. I like Runaway Bride. And Jude Law's Dark Side. But thank you guys so much for joining the show today. And I mean, this has been a blast. These comments, you guys lit it up. Desiree, Darth, Jameson, Ryan. Let's see. I know we have one more. Oh, no, that's it. You guys rocked it today. Thank you so much. And those that just listened and played along with us, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, I want to thank our guest, Amanda Ramirez, everybody. Please give it up for her, everybody. Come on, give it solid. Show some love in the comments section.
We love Amanda. We love having her on the show. She will definitely be back.
She will. She's one of our few guests to be on twice. And she's been on twice in maybe a month's period. So right now, Amanda has broken a record in the grown-ups table.
I think Darth has been on 3 episodes, so she's got to get one more to break the all-time record.
But she has frequency. Amanda has frequency. We gotta give her that.
In the same calendar month. You got it. And you got yourself a fancy ring light too, which has done great. So
she's doing great. But Amanda, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say to bring them to your page?
I don't want anybody on my page. That's the goal. But thank you very much.
Underground.
Someday I will have my venue back in Columbus where I was hosting shows. They want to come back, but it's just not safe yet. So I kind of said, let's see how the numbers go. So until then, keep my name out your mouth.
And when you heard it here, show going again, I will perform at that show. I promise. I know I let you down last time, but I will not let you down again. So I will be there.
Hell yeah! And I want to thank everybody listening. Make sure tomorrow, this episode will be on the air. So if you up on YouTube, so if you missed it, don't worry, we got it. Just go on there, like and subscribe on our YouTube page. Help us reach more people, guys. We want everybody to sit down at the grown-ups table. All right. Absolutely. This ain't an exclusive table. This is an inclusive table. Bring everybody, bring your fandom. That's what we want. And last couple of things, I want to thank Max Rowland, for graphic designs. I want to thank Vance, our producer, who produced the goods, what he does. But until then, everybody, we'll be plugged the next week's show. Duh. We got another stand-up comedy Carson Couch style show next week. Be ready, and you'll see the comedians that we will be announcing on our page. One of them is a good friend of mine. I'll spoil one of them, Matt Onesti.
Oh, we got him. All right.
I got a few other. I got a few more up the sleeve, and you'll see them soon. But until then, I'm Jesse.
I'm John.
And you've been sitting at the grown-ups table. Everybody have a beautiful night and a happy Valentine's Day. Can everybody give a kiss to the camera? Ready? Ready? Come on. Great. 1, 2, 3. Mwah! All right. Bye, everyone. Have a good night, everybody.